Hi, my name is Terry, and you're watching Terry Tells the Story. Today, I want to talk to you about something that's been on my mind recently. I was thinking about the Challenger disaster the other day, and there was something about that story that just didn't sit right with me. All of these missions are fundamentally based on math, and math doesn't have off days. If you plug the right numbers into the right formulas, you get the right answers every single time. For those who don't remember or who just weren't around, the Challenger was a space shuttle that exploded just 73 seconds after takeoff in 1986. 7 people were on board, including Krista McAuliffe, who was supposed to be the first teacher ever in space. It was a national tragedy. But when you look at how much money and how many brains go into these NASA missions, billions of dollars and hundreds of the smartest mathematicians on the planet, a mistake shouldn't be possible. How can we shoot a rocket into space but not know if the launch will even be successful? People make mistakes, sure, but these missions have dozens of layers of triple checking. A clerical error doesn't just slip through a net that big. So I decided to dig a little deeper. And what I found is actually much more terrifying than a mistake. It wasn't a calculation error. It was a choice. There are real names attached to this. Engineers like Roger Boisjoli and Alan McDonald worked for the company that built the rocket boosters. They didn't have a hunch. They had data. They spent the night before the launch begging NASA to stop. They knew the O-rings, the rubber seals, weren't designed for the freezing Florida temperatures that morning. Boisjoli even wrote a memo months earlier warning that if they didn't fix the design, it would lead to a, quote, catastrophe of the highest order. They were ignored. The high-ranking officials at NASA were so worried about keeping their schedule that a manager famously told his team to take off their engineering hats and put on their management hats. And that's the scary part. The management hat is exactly what leads us to disasters like the Titan submersible. It's the same story, just 37 years later. We all saw the news in 2023 when that sub imploded on its way to the Titanic. But just like the Challenger, it wasn't an accident. An engineer named David Lockridge, who was the director of machine operations for OceanGate, literally blew the whistle years before the final dive. He wanted to test the carbon fiber hull for cracks, and instead of listening to him, the CEO fired him. More than 30 industry experts even sent a formal letter warning that the experimental approach was going to end in disaster. They were ignored because the guy at the top was so eager to start his tourism business and make money that he treated physics like it was just red tape that was getting in the way of his profit. It's a symptom of the same disease we see in everything now. If you saw one of my previous videos where I posted about why chocolate is changing, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, I'd recommend you go back and check it out. But I dug into why our candy bars suddenly taste terrible. And it's because companies like Hershey's are gutting old formulas, even the iconic Reese's formula, to replace real cocoa butter with cheap fillers. Obviously, a nasty candy bar isn't the same as losing lives in a rocket explosion or a sub implosion, but the root cause is identical. It's corporate greed. There are no accidents. These people know exactly what they're doing. They know that the math says it's a bad idea and that the quality is dropping. They're just betting that they can cut enough corners to save a quick buck before the whole thing collapses. They aren't making mistakes. They're making a gamble, and we are the ones paying for it. So, the Spanish I'm going to be teaching you today is La codicia mató el gato. La codicia mata al gato. La codicia mata al gato. And what that means is the greed killed the cat. If you like this video or you learned something new, drop a like down below. If you have a specific topic you'd like to see me cover, drop me a comment. And if you'd like to support this work that I do, there'll be a link to the Cash App in the description box below. We'll see you next time.